All right, let's talk about fall protection and specifically fall protection for floor holes and why it's so important. Floor holes are frequently present on construction sites. They can be found inside of buildings, those core holes that get drilled in between the floors, um, on rooftops, such as like skylights and whatnots, or roadways, and throughout outdoor job sites. If you look at the sky right here, he's looking down a hole. We're assuming it's a hole. We don't know how deep it is or what's down beneath it. A floor hole presents trip hazards or fall hazards to workers and can lead to serious injuries or fatalities. OSHA has what they call the fatal four. Falls is the number one on that fatal four. OSHA considers falls a serious hazard that are the cause for the most of the fatalities in the construction industry. They send the most people to the hospital every year. Falls are a big one. Floor holes must never be ignored. Always look for areas that may have floor holes and be aware of situations where holes may not adequately be marked, covered, barricaded, or guarded. OSHA has a standard. It defines a hole as a gap or void 2 inches or more in its least dimension in a floor, roof, or other walking working surface. So on quite a bit of stuff, they'll consider it that. OSHA considers any gap larger than 2 inches wide on any working walking surface as a floor hole. Even holes, cracks, or depressions in the ground that are as small as 2 inches wide can still pose a serious tripping hazard, as you see right here, the guy with his foot in it. So 2 inches, you're not talking much. That's considered a hole, which falls into tripping hazards. Not necessarily a hole you're going to fall down where you need a lanyard or anything like that, but it will be a tripping hazard. So they want you to protect anything over 2 inches. Walking working surfaces can be horizontal or vertical, so it may go up or down. It may include floors, roofs, ramps, bridges, concrete reinforcing steel, or any surface in which an employee walks or works to perform their job duties. OSHA categorizes floor holes into two main types. Holes more than 6 feet deep that a person can fall into that require protection by a fall arrest system, guardrail, or covers. So anything over 6 feet, you need to have your fall arrest or you need to have your guardrail around it, or you need to have a cover that literally says the word hole on it, and it has to be securely attached. Holes less than 6 feet deep, um, no minimum depth specified, up to 2 inches. So holes less than 6 feet deep that require employees to be protected from tripping or stepping into the holes by placing covers over them. Those would be those core holes that you're walking around seeing that are sometimes 6 inches wide. Those technically fall into the floor holes and they need to be covered. Example of floor holes: missing floorboards, sunken gravel or dirt, fully enclosed ladder, roof and floor drains, chipped or broken concrete, precast concrete, elevator shafts, drilled pier holes, manholes, skylights, etc. There's a bunch more that we can get into here more if we really wanted to do it. When a hole is not in use, always ensure it's protected by a cover or guardrail system that is erected along all unprotected sides of the hole. Floor holes or openings must be protected to prevent workers from tripping and or falling into them. So this right here works perfectly fine for protecting around that hole. It marks it. You're not going to trip into it. It's not a hazard that you're just going to walk into blindly. If that hole is over 6 feet, then it has to be a guardrail. You need your toe rail, you need your mid rail, you need all that stuff on there. OSHA Standard 1926-501, each employee on a walking, working surface shall be protected from tripping in or stepping into or through holes by covers. It means we're supposed to have a cover on it, or it's supposed to be barricaded and guarded like what you see right there. The floor hole cover should be strong and durable enough to withstand at least twice the weight of employees, equipment, and materials that may be imposed on the cover at any time. So basically, twice the intended load. If protective covers are not installed or available for floors holes noticed on the job site, immediately notify somebody so they can come out and address it. Skylights must have fall arrest systems because you're falling more than 6 feet. Guardrails or covers to prevent falls to lower levels. Do not work near skylights unless your adequate fall protection is in place. Each employee on walking working surface shall be protected from objects falling through the holes by covers. So if you're down on the floor beneath this, if you're on the first floor and the second floor, they have a core hole. It needs to be covered because open floor holes, including skylights or floor holes with inadequate protection, may create a struck-by hazard to another person who may be walking or working below the floor hole. Somebody not even paying attention, walking around doing their job, but because that hole up top isn't covered up, they were walking by that hole, digging in their tool pouch, and their screwdriver came down and went through somebody's tool or hard hat. Floor covers should be installed or secured in a way to prevent accidental displacement by the wind, equipment, or other employees. Needs to be attached. Covers located in roadways and vehicular aisles shall be capable of supporting without failure at least twice the maximum axle load of the largest vehicle, so twice the intended load. Just keep that one in mind. Never use paper, cardboard, or a tarp or other soft material to cover floor holing. Guard all new floor holes immediately. Always use personal fall protection when anything is over 6 feet. If the fall is over 6 feet, it has to have personal fall protection. Any questions? Feel free to get with your superintendent and ask them, or you can always shoot me a message and I'll answer back to you. Have a good one, guys.